A woman snatched my shopping cart at a grocery store, saying, "I have more stuff, so I need it more." When I took it back, she screamed, "You're stealing from me." Security arrived just as I showed them the cart's receipt, with my name on it. Her face went white as they escorted her out, while I finished my shopping in peace. I'm a 58-year-old woman, pretty average. I live in Sacramento, California, and do most of my shopping at the same Safeway that's been there forever. I know the layout by heart. I go every Saturday around the same time, right after lunch, to beat the big evening rush. I don't like drama. I don't look for trouble. But trouble found me anyway. This happened 2 months ago, and I'm still thinking about it. It was a normal shopping day. I had my cart loaded up almost to the top: ground beef, eggs, Greek yogurt, a bag of apples, cleaning supplies, cereal, a rotisserie chicken, snacks for the grandkids, the usual. I had just about everything I needed when I realized I forgot olive oil. It's always the one thing. I told myself, grab it and go. So I parked my cart just outside the aisle near the shelf of pasta. It was out of the main walkway. I wasn't gone more than 2 minutes. I walked down, grabbed the olive oil, and came back. That's when I saw her. She was maybe in her 40s, short reddish blonde hair, pushing my cart away fast, like she was late for something. I didn't even process it at first. I thought maybe she had grabbed the wrong cart by accident. It happens. "Excuse me," I said, trying to keep it polite. "I think you grabbed my cart." She didn't slow down. She didn't even look embarrassed. She stopped just long enough to say, "I have more stuff, so I need it more." I froze for a second. What kind of response was that? "I already shopped for these," I told her. "That's mine." "I'm not giving it back," she said, still holding the cart. "You left it. That's on you." I walked around and stood in front of the cart to block her. "Ma'am, that's not how this works. These are my groceries." I stepped away for literally 2 minutes. "My receipt is in my purse." She suddenly raised her voice. "You're stealing from me." People nearby turned their heads. Some slowed down to watch. "You're stealing my groceries," she shouted louder. I was stunned. She was putting on a full show, like she was trying to convince everyone around us I was a thief. It was so loud and ridiculous, I didn't know what to say at first. "Do not touch me," she yelled as I reached for the cart handle. I wasn't even near her body. I wasn't touching her. I was just trying to take my cart back. That's when store security showed up, 2 guards, both younger guys. They moved quickly between us. "What's going on here?" one of them asked. "She's stealing my cart," the woman shrieked, pointing at me. I took a breath, pulled my receipt out of my purse, and handed it over. "Here's my proof. That's my name on it." The items in this cart match the receipt. I was gone for 2 minutes to grab olive oil. She took it. The guard looked it over, compared it to the cart, nodded slowly, then turned to her. "Ma'am, she's telling the truth. You need to step away from the cart." Her face went blank. She didn't argue. She didn't say a word. Her face turned pale like someone flipped a switch. I think she realized the act wasn't going to work anymore. The other guard radioed someone, and she was asked to leave the store. She didn't resist, but the way she looked at me like I had done something to her, it gave me chills. People stared as she walked out. Some shook their heads. One older guy muttered, "Unbelievable. I got to keep my groceries." I checked out, but I was shaking the whole time. I don't think it really hit me until I got to my car and sat down. I just kept thinking, what if I hadn't had the receipt? What if I had just left my cart for a little longer? She was ready to lie to everyone around her. She looked me straight in the eye and said I was stealing from her. She said it like she believed it. I know people lie, but not like that. Not that bold. Not that fast. I told my daughter what happened later that day. She was furious on my behalf. "Post that," she said. "People need to hear about stuff like this." So here I am, still shaking a bit while I type this out. I don't even know what that woman's plan was. Was she really trying to steal my groceries? What would she have done at the register? Would she have paid for my things? Would she have tried to fight it there too? Was she just looking for someone to push around? I know it sounds ridiculous, but this whole thing made me way more cautious. Now I bring the cart with me to the next aisle, no matter what. Even if it's just to grab one bottle of something. I don't leave it. Not anymore. I've seen people be rude before. I've seen selfish shoppers. But this felt different. She didn't hesitate. She didn't try to pretend it was a mistake. She wanted what she wanted, and if that meant accusing someone of theft to get it, she'd do it without blinking. After that day, I thought the whole thing was over. I told the story a few times to my daughter, my coworkers, my neighbor who always brings over banana bread. Everyone reacted the same way: shock, a little laughter, and a warning to always watch your stuff. I tried to move on. But 3 weeks later, something weird happened. It was a Tuesday morning, and I had a dentist appointment downtown. I parked in one of those little open-air lots near J Street, right across from a coffee shop. After the appointment, I walked back to my car, and that's when I saw her. Same woman. Short reddish blonde hair. Same build. Standing on the sidewalk across the street. She was wearing sunglasses and a black jacket this time, pacing slowly, like she was waiting for someone. My heart jumped. I ducked behind the nearest parked SUV and peeked around the corner to be sure I wasn't just imagining it. It was her. I stood there frozen, half thinking she wouldn't recognize me. But then she turned her head slightly, took off the sunglasses, and smiled. Not a friendly smile. The kind of smile that makes your stomach twist. Like she knew I saw her and she wanted me to see her. I didn't go to my car. I walked to the next block, found another exit from the lot, and left from the opposite side. I didn't want her following me. I didn't want to know what she was doing there. When I got home, I locked all my doors and sat by the window with a cup of tea, watching the street like I was waiting for a storm to hit. That should have been the end of it, again. But it wasn't. The next Saturday, I went back to Safeway. I figured it was my normal routine, and the odds of seeing her again were low. I told myself not to be paranoid. I even joked with the checkout girl that I might put a tracker on my cart this time. Everything was fine, until I got to the parking lot. I unloaded my groceries, got in my car, and pulled out of the parking space. As I passed the last row of cars, I noticed a shopping cart parked neatly behind an SUV. On top of the cart was a note, taped to a box of granola bars. The note said, "Enjoy your groceries while you can." Smiley face. It wasn't signed. Just that creepy smiley face. I froze in the driver's seat, staring at it. I wasn't even sure what it meant. Was she following me? Watching me? Trying to scare me? I drove straight home and called my daughter. She was furious and told me to call the store and the police. I didn't call the police right away. I felt like they'd think I was overreacting, and I had no proof of anything, just a woman with a smile, a note, and a cart. But I did call the store manager. He was very kind, remembered the incident with security, and said he'd check the cameras. A day later, he called back. "We found her," he said. "She came in about 10 minutes after you. She didn't shop. She just walked around, and then she left that note." He sounded rattled. "She's banned now. I've sent her photo to every employee. If she comes back, we'll call the police immediately." Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that something bigger was going on. Why would someone go to that much trouble for a shopping cart fight? It didn't make sense. Either she was unwell, or she was doing this on purpose, for power, control, I don't know. I started parking in a different grocery store. I changed my routine. I started shopping at different times, sometimes even driving out to West Sacramento just to feel safer. But a week later, my daughter called me from her job. She works in Midtown at a print shop. "Mom," she said, "did you leave this on my windshield?" "What is it?" I asked. "A granola bar, taped to a paper that says, 'She doesn't deserve to win.'" Her voice was shaking. "What is this? Is this her?" That's when I called the police. I gave them everything, the receipt, the note from the parking lot, the details from the store manager, and now this new note at my daughter's workplace. They took it more seriously this time. Said it was potential stalking. Opened a file. Advised us to document everything. It's been quiet since then, but I still feel like I'm being watched. I still feel that twist in my stomach every time I pass someone with red blonde hair. It started with a cart. A grocery cart. And now I check over my shoulder every time I shop. Every time I unlock my car. Every time I walk up my driveway. It all came to a head 2 months after that note showed up on my daughter's windshield. Life had turned into this slow, nervous waiting game. I checked every shadow, every parked car. I hated the feeling. I was mad, not just scared. I wanted my life back. Then one afternoon, I made a mistake. A dumb one, and I own that. I was in a hurry to get to the pharmacy before they closed. I went to the Safeway again. Yes, that Safeway. I told myself she was banned. It was broad daylight. What were the chances? I just needed one thing, prescription pickup. No grocery cart. No shopping. 5 minutes max. I walked in, got my prescription, and headed back out. That's when I saw her. Sitting in a parked car across the lot. She wasn't even trying to hide this time. Same sunglasses. Same smirk. Window rolled down like she was waiting for a friend. I didn't panic. I didn't run. I stared right back. I had my phone in my hand and took a photo of her before she could react. She backed out of the space and drove off fast, but I got the plate. That night, I called the officer I'd been speaking with and gave him everything: photo, plate number, the whole story all over again. 2 days later, they found her. Her real name was Sandra. Sandra Penrose. She lived just across the river in West Sacramento. That wasn't the crazy part. The crazy part was this: she'd done it before. She had a whole pattern. Police said she had several complaints from women, mostly older, mostly shopping alone, who had experienced similar things. Cart thefts. Public accusations. Notes. Creepy. Stalker behavior that didn't quite cross the legal line, until she did it to someone who wouldn't back down. That was me. They pulled her in. And in her car? Notes. Photos. Even one of me at the grocery store, taken from a distance. She had been building a file. Watching me. It turned out she had a twisted reason. Back when I had stopped her from taking my cart the first time, she felt humiliated. Said I robbed her of her moment. She told the officer during questioning that I looked like the type who had never lost anything in life, and she wanted me to learn what it felt like. Yeah, that was her logic. They pressed charges for stalking, harassment, and attempted identity fraud. She'd apparently been trying to find info about me online, using photos from my car's license plate. I went to court twice. She stared at me the whole time. Didn't say a word. But I did. I told the court I wasn't out for blood. I just wanted her gone. Out of my life. Away from my daughter. Away from the store. I wanted peace. I wanted safety. Sandra got sentenced to 18 months with a mandatory mental health evaluation and no contact order for me and my family. But here's where I messed up my mistake in all this. I waited too long to speak up. If I had called the police the first time she acted off, even just to report it, maybe she wouldn't have escalated. Maybe they would have caught her sooner. Maybe other women wouldn't have had to deal with her. I kept telling myself, it's just a cart and don't make a big deal. But it was a big deal. So here's what I learned. Trust your gut. Speak up early. Be louder. Don't be afraid to make noise when something feels wrong. Silence is what people like her count on. It took months, court visits, and stress I never asked for, but I got my justice. I got my peace. And to Sandra, wherever she ends up, I hope she finally realizes some carts aren't worth stealing. Some people fight back. Some people take notes too.